Hello everybody, Voodoo here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going through the first half of the new raid and breaking down what build you should play on each boss, as well as some tips and tricks to perform well and parse well on those bosses. So I'll be doing the first half here, I'll be doing the second half later on once we're done. Maybe Fyrakk in its own video, unsure, we'll see when we get there. We have the Wall of Tindril before that. Before we get to that, make sure you like the video, comment, and subscribe. We're pushing towards 10K, we're getting there closer and closer every day, so support the channel, I appreciate it, and let's get into it with Gnarlroot. So for Gnarlroot, I would recommend a build like this. This is the standard Ignition raid build, swapping out Furious Gaze for Ragefire. Now the reason you do this is because Gnarlroot summons a ton of adds on a pretty good cycle for us. I believe it's every 40 seconds is the first one, 30 seconds, something like that. Don't quite remember the timings off the top of my head, but they spawn on a pretty good cycle, and Ragefire often is going to be your top damage in that scenario. You constantly have 8 or so targets around, and it's just going to do a ton of damage, much more than Furious Gaze will give you. And of course, we want Serrated Glaive because you're fighting the boss the whole time. Now, the thing with this boss is that your damage overall, if you're parsing, is going to be mostly related down to how long the adds live and how much cleave you're allowed to do. I wouldn't really hold anything. I believe the first hunt comes up pretty close to whenever the first ad set spawns, as well as Essence Break. So for that one, you could definitely hold it a little bit. But most kill times these days should have you using your meta on pull and then metaing on the first intermission. Now, again, this is the first boss, doesn't really matter, but metaing around the first intermission and metaing on pull, and then you have your Essence Break window and your hunt basically used on cooldown, trying to overlap with ads whenever possible, if it's in like a few seconds or so. Whenever you're doing this, you should probably prioritize down the tree ads opposed to anything else, as those are the worst option, the worst thing around. But you can also just hit boss and like, who cares? In the intermission, you are going to be very, very good at helping to clear it quickly. Now, the issue here for clearing quickly, is that sometimes it's just not gonna clear whenever you have meta. So you definitely want to clear around the 2-minute mark if possible. Obviously, clearing it quickly is better than not, but a lot of this boss fight is just gonna be padding on those ads as much as possible to get your overall up and kind of just setting everything on cooldown whenever you can. Really not too hard of a fight. If you're progging it the first time, focus down the treants and just save your damage for ad waves and you'll be fine. Boss fight's not hard. Stay close to the boss to dodge the frontal. And otherwise, it's the first boss. It should just fall over as a loot pinata, and nothing really should be that hard about it. So for Igara, I would again recommend playing the build you see before you. Now, the thing with Igara is that, or Igara, I don't remember, but the thing with that boss fight is that if you are taking a long time to kill the spears, then you're going to be able to pad a lot better. If you're progging, this is going to be the best build for you to play, just hands down, swapping out Furious Gaze for Ragefire, similar to the first boss. But that being said, there are some weird other builds you can play if you want to do some more AoE pad damage to the spears, if you are, if your group is letting them live long enough. But for the most part, this build is doing very well, and if you are progressing, it's going to be this one. If you want to just pad spears, you can do this. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. A lot of guilds are just going to kill the spears quick enough where this won't do a ton, but it's an option. You can also drop Ragefire for Glaive Tempest if you find that you're not actually getting a ton of value out of the Ragefire, which again, optional. Just depends how tightly you can stack up your spears. On that note, I do recommend trying to stack spears in groups of 2. You'll see in the clip that my guild isn't. My guild just doesn't yet. Just whatever, it's a second boss, we haven't really optimized it too much, but stacking them in groups of 2 makes it a lot easier and a lot better to cleave down all the spears and end up killing the boss effectively. The quicker you kill those spears, the easier the boss gets and the better you'll do overall. In terms of cooldown timings, we take a look at a little tool called lorgs.io, which shows you top cooldown timing usage for different boss fights. I'll move my face over here. We think there's a different breakup whenever the hunts and everything comes out, but most people are choosing to meta pretty early on. There is a little bit of a talk of holding meta, so you can either meta instantly at 5 seconds or hold it a little bit for the first spear set, which I would generally recommend. I think holding for the spear set's probably better. And you want to try and use the hunt at around 48 seconds whenever the next set of spears comes out. Otherwise, it's just kind of using it on cooldown past that. You can try to align it with spear sets for the most possible damage, which you probably should be doing as long as you're not missing uses. But generally speaking, using things on cooldown will get you very, very far. Now, a lot of these fights are using weird things like Spell Barrage. You look up Essence Break too. Generally using these on spear sets would be good. You can see these logs here are using Fel Barrage and no Essence Break. So interesting there. There's definitely different like ideas about how to do this boss, but generally speaking, I would recommend playing the Essence Break build. This one you see before you, not the Fel Barrage one. But again, you can do that. Realistically speaking, you just kill those spears as fast as possible and then just nuke the boss. Nothing else really too hard about tips. For Havoc, if you're in a pinch, you can go Netherwalk the Soak. Just like if your raid is dying, that can help. Darkness to Soaks, I would recommend that heavily, and just get out with your Healing Absorb. You can use HP potions to get rid of it quickly. The Toxic Potion gets rid of it like instantly, which is really good. But otherwise, play this build. Try and pad down this, not pad down, but focus on the spears as much as you can. Ragefire helps with that. Pre-popping Immolation Aura to have the Ragefire explosion go off on the spears helps. So if you pop Immolation Aura, so like the last 5 ticks or so are in the spears, are going to be very helpful for you. But otherwise, just slam the boss. It's a second boss. It's not very hard. Volcoross! It's a joke! Woo! I think this took my guild like 1 or 2 pulls when we were kind of undergeared. At this point, if you're hitting this, you should just fall over. Play this build. This is our best single target build. Now, since the changes came through in the nerfs, you can play the Cycle build here if you want to. However, I'm just going to recommend this one for now. Cycle has some weird issues, and I'm probably going to do a video about it, but just play this build for now. There's not a ton of tips to give about Volcoross. If you have the circle on you, I'd recommend going far to the right so you can still do your rotation and not risk hitting people. Also would recommend just kind of nether walking some of them if you can. If you're progging this boss. If you're not progging the boss, I wouldn't nether walk because just soak it, just to get more damage. But it's just patch for a single target, maintain uptime. Darkness, either the big explosion or the fire bolts the snake does after. I would recommend the snake bolts because they do more damage to more targets. But it's just a single target fight. There's not really any tips or tricks to give. Just maintain uptime, do your rotation properly, and just kind of blast, right? There's not a lot here. So yeah, nothing really to say there. Play the single target build, darkness when you can, and they're walk immune if you can. You're progging. Otherwise, good luck. And finally, we come to Council. Now, Council is a bit of a, pardon my French, clusterfuck of a fight, or cluster duck, I guess. And your damage here is very entirely reliant on both your tank's positioning as well as your duck RNG, and basically just how much uptime you have. Now, for this fight, I would recommend playing this build here. You know, you love it, the Ragefire build, and you have to just make sure you're hitting 2 targets whenever possible. For the entire fight, you can hit 2 targets. There's some scenarios where your tank can situate the bear boss in such a different place that you can hit 3 targets. But realistically speaking, you always need to be hitting 2 targets to do well in this fight. Using your meta on opener is a good spot to hit 3 targets because the bear can kind of be in the middle of those 2 and you can have some damage there. But this is another fight where there's not a lot of useful tips or tricks for me to give you. There's nothing specifically for Havoc. I would recommend darknessing some of the charges as the things tick out there. If you're progging this fight, I would recommend using the strategy where 2 people are basically always ducks and just kind of trading off ducks for each other. Don't be one of those people. That would be miserable. Make like a healer and like a BM hunter or somebody do it. 5 healing is also pretty good for progging, but realistically, like again, it's not like conceptually that hard of a fight. The ducks might mess you up. Just make sure you're always clearing the green things on the ground and you should be fine. That's where a lot of the damage comes from, and just rotate your soak groups and it shouldn't be too bad. So again, Havoc specific tips, nothing too impactful. Cooldowns in this fight are kind of just used on cooldown. Try to line up. You always be hitting 2 targets, hitting 3 whenever possible, and you know, kind of just use everything when you can. Netherwalk can be used in the charges. I don't think they go through immunities. Don't fully know, but again, you shouldn't really need to be charging in and out. Another small thing about Netherwalk is if you are Netherwalked and have to clear off the the shield from the dragon, it will not work. You need to get rid of Netherwalk in order to take damage from the green things to clear your mind control thing. So remember that. And darkness on charges basically when you're all grouped up. So cleave 2 targets, UCDs on cooldown. Otherwise, nothing too special here. And that's going to be it for the early look at the first 4 bosses in Mythic. Now, these bosses really aren't that hard, but hopefully if you're looking to parse better or kind of doing early prog here, that these you found these useful. Otherwise, I will be doing the next 4 in a separate video. We should be starting Smolder on prog this week, and then Tindral. So once those 2 bosses are down, I will do another video like this. Then once Fyrakk is down, I will do another video doing a deep dive into Fyrakk, of course. Don't know when that'll be. We have to actually get CE first, but hey, is what it is. So I hope you found these useful. I'll have another video out early next week, probably a 5 tips, maybe, we'll see. But if not, I don't know. Hope you guys had good luck on your vaults and good luck on prog. Good luck. Hope you guys can incorporate this into your raid and find some use here. First 4 bosses aren't too hard, so most people should be able to get these down pretty easily. But if you need stuff, there you go. So make sure you follow the channel, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Join the channel below, and if you want to support me, become a channel member. Follow my Twitch, follow my Discord. Both of those are in the description. Otherwise, see you guys next time. Have a good weekend. Peace. A big shout out to all of my channel members. Thank you, Andrew Keenel, Fede Gregori, Joshua O'Connell, Latand, Period, Brad Wisniak, Zuligan, It's Bulk, Magic Man 133, and Howley. Again, thank you all so much. You guys are a big support and a big help to the channel. If you want to become a channel member and help support me, get access to a few cool perks, like some exclusive videos, special channel, my Discord, and stuff like that, then click the link in the description. Otherwise, thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.